Hi, and thank you for visiting the Mind Body Health website. I hope this video will give you some clarification on how I conceptualize working with people. And I say that word with intent, conceptualization. Every psychologist, every counselor that goes through their training will pick what they call a theoretical orientation, or how they conceptualize the people they work with. And this is a challenging thing for therapists when they're first starting out, to pick the orientation of how they'll look at each person walking in their office. Over the years, I've made my own based on the research I've done in the area of consciousness. And so my approach is really looking at a three-part system. And those three areas are essentially, and I'll explain this more in a moment: mind, we obviously have a mind; a body, we obviously have a body; and an energy or spirit, and we have a metaphysical energetic system that we are tapping into. And I'll explain each of those briefly here. So, the mind system. So, when someone is talking to me about what's going on in their life, I'm trying to put pieces of a puzzle together of how their life is working within these three different areas. And then I create experiments with someone to work on these three areas, and we'll do possibly some interventions or psychotherapy based on these three areas if something is working or not working so well. So consider this, if you will. We have mind, body, and spirit, or energy, potato, potato. And the mind system is almost, and you can see this on my website with the head that has gears inside the head. So look at these as three gears that have cogs on the gears. And as you turn one, it turns the other. And mind can turn body, and spirit or energy can turn this as well. Okay, depending which way these are turning. And this isn't the important part of which way they're turning. It's just, are they turning? Are they interactive? Is one stuck? And so when I look at mind, body, and spirit or energy, again, potato, potato, same thing to me, depending how someone looks at life. And I'll explain that more in a moment. I look at these three different systems. And we can all agree, every health professional agrees we have a mind. Every health professional agrees we have a body. And only some agree that we have a spiritual or energetic system inside of us. And I'll leave that one for last, because that's kind of it's one of my favorite areas to play with and introduce to people. So we have a mind system. And in this system, it's complex. The mind system is very difficult to understand for people that aren't trained in that area, because we have a conscious, cognitive, thinking mind. Right now, you are listening to me with your conscious, cognitive, thinking mind. That conscious mind, in best estimations, only tunes in to 2 to 5% of the available consciousness around us, the available intelligent energy around us. Everything that's alive has consciousness. There's even some theories that things that aren't alive or appear not alive, like a rock, might have consciousness, but we'll leave that. Anything that has an aliveness to it has consciousness. I have consciousness. There is one great consciousness that I call Kyle, that is talking to you right now, but inside my body, I have individual consciousnesses. My heart knows how to be a heart. My lungs know how to be lungs. Different systems. My GI system knows how to do that. And so this mind component, the conscious component within that, only accesses a limited amount of information about the greater consciousness that the rest of the mind, the unconscious mind, is actually tapping into. And within that unconscious mind, we have what are often called subconscious programs. In CBT, they might be looked at schemas or these different things that are running programs inside of us saying that I am this, or I've experienced that, or this is the way I look at that. Some people might use terms like I am anxious or I have PTSD. But these are programs that are installed inside of us. And sometimes they work for us and sometimes they don't. So the whole mind complex is exciting yet difficult to navigate sometimes, because there is a conscious component, which is what we're aware of, but that conscious component really accesses a limited amount of the available consciousness that the deeper mind is tapping into. And so I do work with people looking at dreams sometimes. I definitely invite people to allow me to teach them different aspects of meditation. If they are meditating already, fantastic. Then we can use that to tweak some more experiments, because we can open up different parts of this mind. And as this mind starts to turn more, it starts to interact with the body and the energy system more as well. So the body system, well, we know we have a body, obviously, and this body has a brain and nerves everywhere and all of these tissues, and it's this amazing machine behind the scenes that just seems to be doing things. Sometimes we treat it well, sometimes we don't. So, with my background as a kinesiologist and as a former physiotherapist, I love delving into the mind wheel to see how that's working for people and really trying to work with people where they're at so that this mind, the mind up here and the body down here, this body component can start to work more. We can start to move it, whether it's getting for walks, whether it's getting to the gym, whether it's playing sports, whatever that might be for you. We look at getting the body wheel moving because it moves the other wheels as well. These three systems are completely tied together. Within this body system, we can all agree in Western medicine that we have a biochemical system, we have nerves, this great neurological cascade of nerves that runs through us. But sometimes we don't look at how nerves actually operate and how they transmit information. Yes, there's a biochemical aspect to activate the nerve, and then the nerve shoots electricity to the end of that nerve, and then another biochemical reaction happens in this synapse. Well, the nerve itself runs on electricity. So we are actually electrical machines. We can now measure our heart 10 feet outside of us and measure the heart activity. We all know that we can measure our brains with electrical activity. And so we really are an electrical system within this physical system. And that's where this last wheel comes into play. So we have this mind, this body, and this spiritual or energetic system. So the energy system, if someone is more of an atheist, they don't believe that there's anything in the afterlife, they believe that this is one life, you live, toes up. Okay, that it gives me a little bit less to work with people in that regard, but I can, because we can look at something as simple as love. Love is, there may be a biochemical aspect to love, but love is energetic. When you walk by your partner and quickly go, yeah, I love you, or you walk by your partner and you look in their eyes and they feel that resonance and you tell them how much you love them and care about them, it's completely different. The level of energy is completely different. The transfer of energy between people is completely different. And so our energy influences other people's energy. As example, we have these things called mirror neurons, and mirror neurons are shown to pick up the energy between people. For several feet, many feet, we can actually pick up this energy. And we can feel that sometimes even just walking into a room and going, ooh, this is tense in here. And that's that energy we're picking up sometimes. So I hope that helps explain some areas for you. I will say that in the energy spiritual part of things, it doesn't matter if someone is a Catholic, a Buddhist, a Christian, if they practice and study Judaism, it doesn't matter. If you have a certain resonance with some sort of esoteric, philosophical, religious, spiritual, new age, whatever flavor it might be for you, fantastic, because it gives us extra things to work with up here. I'll work with anyone with any sort of faith, with any sort of resonance with something that allows them to look at the universe with a bit more of a, there's something going on out there, whatever that might be for you. So if you're more on the atheist side, well, as long as you're looking at something as greater and bigger than yourself than you can tap into, then we can do some work together. But I do definitely resonate more with people that are a little more mystical in their thinking. They have a resonance with something. They might believe there's a creator, there's a God, there's a universal source of consciousness, there's something going on in the universe, there's some sort of symbiotic relationship energetically with us, everyone else, and the universe. And for those scientists out there, there's lots of proof showing that the electromagnetic connection between the planets and in between us, the Earth, and the Sun is there. So there is this electromagnetic connection. And if we do have this electrical, spiritual, metaphysical energy wheel that we're using and tapping into sometimes, to open up to exploring that can allow you to enrich many areas of your life that maybe you were closed off to before. So I'll leave it at that, and I hope that gives you some clarity as to how I conceptualize things. and how from there we generate some experiments to work on, and we look for change. And that can be the real fun part of this, is getting these three wheels moving more than they were before, looking for change, and then tweaking the experiments and working with some different areas that happen to show up and present themselves through interesting coincidences or synchronicities, or what we sometimes call cognitive shifts. So until I see you in person, I wish you well, and I hope this is of some benefit to you and you're seeking someone that might be able to assist you. Take care.